What's going on, guys? Welcome back to episode 26, picking up from the Rock View balcony. Now that we have officially made it to Caelid, there are going to be a few things to cover before we get started. So, Caelid is going to work a little bit different than your other regions, as we were able to wrap up Limgrave in full before moving to Liurnia, and then Liurnia in full before moving on over to Caelid. Now, Caelid is meant to for you to come now and then come back at a later point. In fact, if you were to look at this little line right in the map, it's going to separate Upper Caelid from Lower Caelid. That's because Lower Caelid is on our level, so we are level appropriate for Lower Caelid. However, Upper Caelid's around level 100, 110, so you're meant to come back to this later, and that's exactly what we're going to do. So typically I will knock out all the underground regions, Mount Gelmir, then Altus Plateau. Then before I enter the capital, I'm going and knocking out the four belfries or anything that's left, including Upper Caelid, Moonlight Altar, everything. That way, everything is 100% done before you get to the real back half of the game. So that's when we will be coming back to Caelid. Now, Caelid can be a nightmare for a first-time player. Anyone that hasn't really been through here, maybe you got to zip through real quick. It seems very intimidating. You have a lot of rot. You're going to be dealing with a lot of poison. You got really big birds and really big dogs. But honestly, it's not that bad once you get started. Now, obviously, for the recommended build, we do have Flame Cleanse Me. We'll be able to cleanse the poison and the rot with that. If you're doing a pure physical build, if you're doing intelligence, anyone who just doesn't have the faith, we did get the cookbooks for neutralizing boluses for poison and then preserving boluses for rot. Now these are limited. We can only craft 6. We'll find a few more. Merchants will sell some, and then we'll get more resources as far as crafting. However, everything here is quite manageable. There's only a few areas where you're really going to be dealing with rot. Most cases, you're kind of in and out, and it shouldn't be much trouble. Alright, so with that out of the way, let you guys know what you're going to be up against. What we're going to be starting with is heading back towards the Smoldering Church. On the way, we're going to curve around these rocks, shoot over here for Erdtree Avatar, and then right here for a Catacomb. So we'll leave those markers up for a second. You don't really need it because you're just kind of looping right around, but just in case anyone wants to have a look at that. When I finally picked up Black Flame, we were talking about how good this was a while ago, but Flame Sling, it's been holding up fine. However, this does do burn over time, and it's going to really be helpful for this fight. You don't need it. It's just, it's just nice to have. So if you don't have it, it's not like a strategy we're dependent on, but it can be nice. We fought a few Erdtree Avatars at this point. With that being said, they've all pretty much been the same. This is your first time you're going to get a different variant. I told you guys they will start to, pick up a bit. So this guy's going to be doing rot. So when he does a big butt slam, that's going to shoot out rot like 15 fucking foot. It's crazy. It's got a lot of range on it. So if you're doing pure melee, which you could easily do, it's a lot of dodging and even running away at times to make sure you're clear. As I said, his range is astronomical. And aside from that, his special attack where he's going to put the staff in the ground and shoot off all the holy projectiles, usually, that's a special move. They'll do that once during the fight, maybe twice. This guy, I've seen him do it like 4 times in a row. He'll fucking spam it. Which could really be annoying. I don't know if it's a glitch or what. Special attacks are not supposed to be spammed, I feel like, but that's what you're going to be dealing with. Now for that, with all these trees around, that does make that part a little bit easier. Just make sure not to fall off a cliff or you're hiding behind a tree. It's a big thing. But yeah, I mean, we're just using our dodging, we're using trees to hide behind the projectiles. If you have ranged abilities, there's a reason why we did recommend the build. Strength Faith, one of the strongest builds in the game. We're going to be very powerful for newer players, but it also gives us a lot of versatility. There's a lot of things that we can do. A lot of things we have access to, right? Not to mention it's a fun build, too. I was like, 100-hour game, let's do something that people are going to have fun with, and that covers us on all sides. That gives us access to some pretty good range abilities. Now, range for Faith isn't as good as like intelligence. Intelligence can really clear a good distance with even like a stone, like a glintstone pebble. So this is good for like mid-range, but that's perfect for situations like this. Look at that. His health is halfway down. We did 2 quick incantations. I'm not even charging this, by the way. Just charge one. Get behind the tree, get behind the tree, get behind the tree. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? And that's also a good time to redo your mana, if need be. Yeah, look at that. We got about 70% of his health, 60. And we've hardly hit him at all with this, right? Now you can fight him up close. I'm not saying you can't, but I mean, look how easy it is. One more, he's probably done. Yeah, let's do him burn over time. Yep. So easy peasy that way. This guy killed me like 10 times my first playthrough, fighting him up close. Because you gotta like jump or roll from his slam, but then you have to run back. If he's sitting like right here at this barrel, The rot will hit you right here. Like, you have to run away from that, and it can be tricky. Now, taking them out gets you Green Burst Crystal Tear, which eliminates all stamina for like 10 seconds. You can do as much as you want. It's unlimited. And then you finally have the Flame Shrouding, which is better for our build. Because, recommended build is Strength Faith, but we're putting together a Pyromancer build, which is what it's going to be. We're going to have a nice somber weapon that does fire. And I think some of the best incantations are fire-based. So that's what I decided to go with. But, I mean, you guys could do Holy. There's a few different things you can do with Faith Strength. That's what I'm going to recommend. But I'm going to show you guys a lot of cool stuff along the way so you guys can set up your own builds. So even if you go along with the recommended build, there's other options, there's other spells you might like, there's other weapons you might like. Even if you're doing arcane, we're covering everything. Everything. You guys do have complete freedom. But I found the Pyromancy to be really good, especially late games. A lot of AoEs, a lot of range, a lot of buffs, where we're able to buff our damage, buff our defense, cleanse status effects. So that's why I kind of, lean towards the fire aspects with Faith. It's like, right now we have, just to talk about for a second, because we haven't talked about too many spells yet. It's still kind of early in the game. Even though we're almost 30 hours, it's still kind of early. But there's some pretty good spells we're going to get. So, Flame Cleanse Me, it goes with fire. That is cleansing you of status effects. We're going to get another one down here called Flame Grant Me Strength. This episode, actually. And it's going to give you 20% more damage to physical and even more to fire. So, it just really pairs with our weapon great. The main weapon will be going for it. So yeah, you guys just haven't seen nothing yet. All the good stuff is yet to come. Either way, guys, now that we're getting into our catacombs, this is just like many others, pretty much in and out. A few different paths here to hit. Now, I would recommend going ahead and using your guard counters as much as possible dealing with the fake dips. There will be no drop-off point to worry about this time. When you go down, there's actually 3 paths. What we're going to do is send this back up. So, one in front, one behind, one underneath. So, we're going to go forward first. This is going to be your boss lever. It's so weird. Sometimes you go in a catacomb, you get the boss lever right away, and there's still so much to be done. Oh, shit. How'd that happen? Come on, buddy guy. There you go. I knew you could do it. Grab your glove for it. Alright, so we're going to have 2 imps. One to the right, so just hold up your shield. Quick. And then one's going to drop from the ceiling right here. Guard counter. Again. Easy peasy. Alright, so like I said, that's your boss door. Now, you could go straight through. What I like to do is make a loop instead. So instead of going straight through, if you go straight, it leads you to like a lower level. There's a side room that's just dead end some items. But if we go this way, it would put us on the upper balcony where we can just kind of drop down and loop around. So it'll make sense here in a second. Just don't want anyone to think we're missing anything. I promise we're not. So instead, what we're going to do is drop here. Now, you are going to be in rot. In and out, right? We don't want to hang out. We're just going to shoot over to the right quickly. Now we're out of it. As I said, pretty manageable. And we're going to have 2 imps. Yep. Where is that fucker? I might be getting... Oh, next room. I'm sorry. I'm getting my rooms mixed up. Then here are just some grabs. You don't even have to kill them, but use 3 souls. Why not? I don't know if they attack you. I guess they do. I've never... 1,000 hours in these games. I've never been attacked by a small crab. They might bump into you, interrupt your attack or something. I don't know. We also get access to a pretty wicked helm. So there's a lot of very unique helms in this game. But the Fanged Imps, they all have a chance to drop it. I think there's 3 or 4 different helms you can get. They usually give you 2 levels to a stat. Like this one is the Wolf Mask that we're going to get. This is going to give you, I think, 2 levels to endurance. Right? There's some for intelligence arcane, I do believe. So right there, Imped Wolf, if you read about it, resembling a wolf, it holds trace amounts of lupine endurance. Like I said, you get like a level, I think it's 2 or 3, if I was to be honest. And there's a few different ones. Now, some you'll find, but some, it's just a chance drop. You might get it from killing these guys, you might not. Just like a weapon drop. So now we can grab this stuff. We'll take him out. We're not fighting no one else. So what you want to do is quickly, very quickly, just make a loop, get your stuff, and get the F out. You're steadily sitting in rock right now. And there you go. So we've already went through rock twice. We have not gotten inflicted. And that's what I'm saying. It is manageable for the most part. We're about to go through it again, so we'll see how it fares. Yeah, see how we fare, but grave violets, and then we're just on a straight shot for the boss. Now this boss can be a little irritating to say the least. Gives you a really cool summon, so we get the Mad Pumpkinhead, that really big guy, super good summon, especially for this point in the game. But to get it, you have to fight the Imperial Watchdog. I'm sure you guys remember the big stone cat looking thing. Well, there's going to be two of them. So you got the magic version that's going to be shooting the glintstone bubbles at you. Then you also got the physical version, the guy with the big greatsword. So what we're going to do is we're going to summon up help. We don't care which summon we use. We don't care about damage. We need distraction, right? I don't care what damage my summon does. I need summon with the most health because we need this guy to stay alive. Want to do your squad swing? Start counter. There it is. I knew we were open. But yeah, that's all we're trying to do here. Now, usually my summon dies almost immediately when I come in. So if that happens, what you need to do is just run around and separate them. You know, walk up, smack them, use your actual word, get big hits off, and then run away. I know it sounds cowardly. You're fighting two big guys by yourself. Fighting them at the same time is suicide. You need to separate. You know, you really need to separate. Heal. You just love your magic. There you go. Thank you. That's what we're looking for. Bye-bye. Oh, we lived through it. Oh yeah, I think there's a little resistance to fire. Fine. Take all the fun out of it. Take all the fun out of it. Yeah, anytime an enemy does something, he does fire, so have resistance to it. If they do magic, they'll have resistance to it. Same thing for your character. Like if you're doing a faith build, you're going to have resistance to holy and stuff too. So it's not just the damage you do, it's also the resistances you have, right? Something I didn't know for a while, so I figured I'd share that. Like I said, we'll be sharing everything there is about this game. So all this is now done. What we're going to want to do now is jump back to Rockview Balcony. Oh, we forgot to cover this. So when we were in Liurnia, I was telling you guys, when it came to Alexander's quest, you meet him here. Then I said you would have to go to Caelid, then Liurnia, the underground, so that we were going to skip this portion of his quest. And I shouldn't have said that. I actually did find a way to do every step of his quest and still do the walkthrough in a certain order. Because the thing of it is you know, that's your starting area. So Limgrave needs to be done in full first. Then Liurnia, as far as what level you are. Then Caelid. And I was like, well, I don't want to take you from Limgrave to Caelid to Liurnia to Caelid and then to the underground to the Liurnia. Like, it's just, you know, a big mess. So we actually found out that you can do Liurnia first and still show these steps. Now, there are some missable steps to Alexander's questline. There's some that are not. Seeing them in Liurnia, seeing them here in Caelid, in the tunnel, these are optional. Don't need to be done. But I did find a way to pull it off. So I did want to share that for anyone that's curious. Either way, before we get into that, we are going to go ahead and clean up Rockview Balcony. So you're going to have your nascent butterfly straight ahead, and then you have 2 huts here with items, and that's really it. So in here, I do believe it's a room 3. There's going to be one little squid dudes. Yep. I just run up and try to grab it. These guys will come from nowhere. Future corpses are no fun. They're going to grab you, build up rot, you know, not a good time. Then over here on the right side, for those of you that are not doing faith, we got some good news for you, because right in here are 5 more preserving bowls. So if you can craft 6, that's at least 11 to start with. As long as you're not using them recklessly, you should, you know, be more than okay. Alright, so with that cleared out, what we're going to be doing, if you guys want to pull up your map, I mean, you can't miss it, there's a tunnel right here. Now, instead of like going wide around, because on a lower portion, we're going to kind of climb the rocks right here, because there's actually a little graveyard about right here. That way we can get a few runes on our way, and then drop down into the tunnel. Now, the reason I bring up Alexander is he's in this tunnel, in the jail tunnel, so we'll be able to set up his quest. Because I wanted to show it all off, I just didn't think it was possible with doing the Liurnia first. Turns out I was wrong. That's why I take notes to figure this shit out. Because I would like to show off all the quests. Elden Ring, Dark Souls games, you just can't do every NPC quest in a single run. A lot contradict with others, and triggers and things to worry about. If we walk through, we always do as much as we can, or we get the best items. That's how I like to do it. Alright, so once you got your runes, we can roll off. It's like a little ledge, yep, right here. And if you want to take these first two guys out, you can, and then you'll also see enemies down the hill. But to be completely honest with you guys, there's no items. You see like a cart down there, but there's nothing to be gained, so I would not even worry about it. Another thing we're going to do is we're going to switch up our weapon. Even if you're not, if you're doing magic, like mage, you're using your staff, you guys are good. But since we're up against the miners, even if it doesn't go with your build, I would recommend a Great Stars or two-hander weapon. That way your attacks aren't bouncing off. Not Grave Stars, just a mason chip. Something with strike. Could be a hammer, could be a mace. We need something with strike so our hits won't bounce off. This guy is hardly an upgrade. Also, these soldiers' move sets are a little bit different now. They're going to do these quick double swipes if y'all saw that. So if you're trying to do a guard counter, make sure you wait for that second hit or you will get popped. Alright, it's going down for Somber. Right, Somber 2. Now this tunnel is probably the shortest tunnel I've ever seen. Caves are really small. Catacombs, early game, are small. Late game, they're fucking huge. Like mazes and labyrinths. But those, early on are pretty small. Tunnels are usually pretty big. This one's pretty quick, but there's a lot of really good resources. So since we are getting later in the game, you're going to get a lot of smithing tools here. So the second tunnel we did, and the Arnie in this one, y'all have enough to bring up a few weapons. So at least, plus 10, 12, something like that. 3, 6, 9, 12. Because we've already got the bell bearing to get infinite 1s and 2s, so we're good there. So I will typically do, let's go to the right side first. There's a lot of guys under you, under those stairs. Try not to trigger them just yet. Now go into this next room and make sure you get your smithing stones on the way. There's a good amount here if you get them all. You're going to have one of the really big squids. So let's see if we can just ignore everybody and go straight for his head. Yeah, load up that charge heavy. By the time he gets down, he's done. He's already dead. Didn't even know about it, but he's dead. Somber 4, cross Naginata. And that's the other thing too, is so I'm missing you. We were talking about the recommended build. One physical stat fake. That's it. If it's Dex or Strength, it doesn't matter. I like Strength Faith better for newer players, but if you like Dex, that still fits with what we're wanting. We're just wanting access to incantations and faith scaling weapons. Having some into that faith stat. So if you like Dex better, there's some pretty cool. You can make like fire katanas and get fire and blood loss with faith Dex. The cross Naginata, very unique moveset on that one. I forgot to switch that back. Yeah, we'll be getting rid of this talisman soon. But either way, if I had that on, I could reach the stats for it. So cross Naginata has a unique moveset that I don't think any other weapon has. It's very versatile. It's doing a lot of things. Different types of slashes. It's got thrust in there. Even I don't care for thrust the way these thrusts are and the light attack moveset. I don't mind. It comes with innate blood loss on it. Very nice dex weapon. So 20 dex requirement, 16 strength, blood loss at 50, C-scaling index. But yeah, like if you want to do the recommended build and go like dex faith, like you can do something like that too, which is super dope. Super dope. I had a lot of fun with it. It's just a lot of those weapons, not all, but a lot of those blood loss weapons, like katanas and stuff, and they don't do the most posture damage. Some can do okay, but in general, they don't do the most posture. Like that one, you're kind of trading out posture for quick attacks. Something like this is going to break enemy stagger left and right, you know what I mean? Okay, yeah, so stack it up on you. But watch those patterns. You see what I'm saying? You got a weapon with strike, we're not bouncing off when we're swinging. Now with everything clear, we're going under. If you're using fire, remember, get back. I actually like to use these guys to kill everybody. I'm going to see if I can line it up. But usually you can run right in this corner. If you have fire, smack this guy. Boom. He pretty much takes out the soldier for you. I always say, just because something's meant to kill you, it doesn't mean you can't use it to your own advantage. try to blow everybody to hell, or like there's 4 traps in what is it, the catacombs. I use those a lot to kill guys too. The armor set don't look so bad here either. If you guys get that to drop, you might like it. Alright, now just do like one little last look around or sweep. Make sure you have all your stones. There's only very specific tunnels you're going to get 4s, you know, 5s and 6s. So while you're there, you want to get all the ones you can. And if you use these, you want to get another level up later, and you're like, fuck, I don't know where to get 4s. You could farm enemies here, guys. Wherever a tunnel, let's say you're looking for some smithing 2s. Whatever tunnel you pick those up from, those enemies will drop those stones. So help you bring up other weapons. We always say be cautious when you get your upgrades. You might want to change your mind, but it's still nice to know where to get more stones from. I think farming is very tedious, but sometimes it needs to be done. Like right there, that guy just dropped the smithing 3. So. Another thing's funny too, that last guy right here, he's got a horn and he's trying to alert everybody, but they're already dead. I don't know why they place him at the end of the tunnel with an alarm. I'm like, shouldn't he be at the start to alert everybody? Because if they're, oh no, it just never made any sense to me. Now, we did cover various quests offline. So if you're online, you had to do like the 3 invasions, and then he gave you the Pure Blood Knight's Battle. I showed you guys the offline way. That's why you have the Right Blood Ruins here. However, I've warned against resting in Officer's Plateau. I told you you would trigger the Redon Festival. We did not. I showed you how to do it without triggering this. It's tricky, but we did it. So if you did end up triggering the Redon Festival while you were in Altus, Alexander won't be here because the festival was triggered and that's where he's going to move to, right? However, if you followed along, he should be here for everyone. Now, this will be his next spot after Limgrave. So once you get here, we're going to exhaust his dialogue. He's just going to talk more about going to the festival.
This was supposed. What's going on here? Well, gosh.
Just make sure you exhaust his dialogue in full. And then after the festival, we'll catch him in Liurnia, and then, you know, his quest will pick up from there. The only reason I'm getting into this is it's really easy to miss 2 of his locations. And you can still do his quests, but to show it all in order, it's really easy to miss it. That's why we, you know, broke it up a few times. I'm going to push my luck, but for you guys, probably spend your levels. If you guys remember Magma Worm Makar, we're going to fight him again. So you guys know what to do as far as the guide. But it's a small arena, so it's going to be great fun. So I'm going to go with this weapon because it does great posture damage, has blood loss, which he's not extremely weak to, but you can proc that on him. But also, we can go in with Hoarfrost Stomp, sets cold affinity, even though we're not intelligence, and that's going to help out a lot with this guy.
Yeah, the festival doesn't.
I just want to make sure we were exhausted. So, Magma Worm Makar, if he, you know, he's going to charge at you like 3 times in a row, leaving lava on the ground. You want to roll through. Block works well. You know, your shield will throw you around, but you should be able to take that damage, but just don't get in the lava. You're trying to bait his head. I think it takes 4 charged heavies to break his stagger. Stay on him. If you can, use Frostbite. Since he's fire, that does wonders. And in fact, if you're doing fire, he's actually immune to all of that fire damage. So if you're doing like 109 physical, 109 fire, you're only getting 109 physical. Like, he's completely immune to fire. He's a fucking dragon, you know? So, something to keep in mind. That little AoE he does will mess your shit up if you're not sure. Come on. There it is. I think we got it with 3 charge sessions. Nice. Powerful as blood loss is, I say Frostbite is just as powerful. But having both together may be the most devastating thing I can think of. Because they're both doing huge percentage chunks off the boss's health bar together. And then with Frostbite, you get 20% extra damage over time. Like, it's just crazy. Hey, what's our shield for? Shield's up. Yeah, I don't get it. I think I got spun around or something. Hoarfrost Stomp. Hoarfrost Stomp. Hoarfrost Stomp. Don't do the charge. Yep. If you're right under his feet, that's what you got to be careful of. There it goes again. Drop all this shit out of it. This thing's joking. There you are. It's a very tough fight. If you're doing a mage build, you just need to use rock sling and like run to this side of the arena, rock sling, run to this side of the arena, then switch up to like a dagger for critical attacks. That's what I would do. Now, since he is akin to the dragon, you will get a dragon's heart for taking him out, and one of the most powerful weapons of the game. I know we're getting this early. That does not mean anything. This is one of the most devastating weapons in the game. When the game first came out, maybe it was overtuned, but it was the most powerful weapon, or top 3, and it's still top 5 in my opinion. So it's a katana, but it has magic. So, yeah, it's definitely one of the most popular for a reason. But, so it's a katana. Very beautiful looking katana, too. Probably the best looking katana besides Rivers of Blood. So you're getting physical plus your dex scaling magic. And then, you know, with intelligence, you'll get extra magic damage. It even has better scaling in intelligence, but this is going to be dex int. So I told you guys at the start, if you're trying to do like a melee mage, you should go dex int, not strength int. But you get blood loss, you're getting poison, you're getting magic. And then the special attack either has a horizontal slash or a vertical slash. Both sends off magic arcs. It's tremendously powerful. So you're sending off arcs with this huge burst of magic, and then you proc blood loss. So you're just like, what the fuck happened to that guy's health? You know, the boss is dead. Really dope, really dope. Either way, guys, with that done, we're gonna jump back on over to the Rockview balcony. So Alexander will not move on into the festival, so that's, you know, what we'll see him next. We're still short of a level. It's getting so up there. Enemies will start to become worth a little bit more. It's like now I feel like we've done like a boss fight, a catacomb, a tunnel, and all that accumulate one level. You know, it's kind of crazy. I guess we'll get back into strength, right? Yeah, let's get back into strength. Let's also change it to daytime. There's no nighttime bosses yet to worry about, but I want to make sure we can see. Now from here, what we're going to be doing is really just taking the main road. You have that little camp, then you'll have ruins. So we're going to go up to Caleb Ruins, and we're going to stop there. We're not going to go any more further down the road, but what we're going to do is just kind of jump down here, and then all the way down here is a fort. So we can put markers, but right now we're just following the road, clearing your camp. Like I said, we'll do your ruin right there. So I guess we could put a 1, and we put a 2 over here in the rocks. And then you can put a 3 down here. And that's going to be the order in which we do things. There's a few little loose loot scattered across the way, but, you know, it won't be hard to follow what we're doing. Now, we've talked about the birds and the dogs. A lot of people are very intimidated by them, but once you fight them, because they don't have much posture, they have like no fucking poise. So you can break their stagger so easily. And these guys, oh shit, that's one thing though. I'm not an intelligence build. I don't need frostbite anymore. But yeah, like those guys in the road, you don't even have to worry about fighting them. They're worth like 100 souls a pop. Not really worth your time. Ashes of War. Is that what I want to use? Well, I don't know if I'm going to use it, but if I decide to go to it, it's going to make more sense to have fire on it than frostbite at that time. We'll go back to Bloodhounds for the time being, because we can buff up with fire. Alright. So going down the main road, I'm not even going to worry about these guys. We'll be here forever. I mean, I guess if you guys want to clear your areas, it's good. I'm always preaching about it. But just nothing's going to come from it, and I would definitely use fire. Because you're probably going to get through a lot of mana and shit too, using weapon art. If we can put some blood buff on. Damn, they didn't even do their grab attack and still got rotted. That's what I'm saying, it's not really worth your time. Come on, stamina. So, you get a few souls for your trouble, but that's really all you're gonna get. Then we got rotted too, so we're gonna have to cleanse that. But yeah, you know, that's up to you guys. Don't feel like you have to clear them. It's kind of fun, kind of satisfying, honestly, watch them explode with the fucking blood flame. So you're gonna see this little camp over here on your left. Can't really see it, that's why I didn't put a marker. But right where you see your big dogs, you can't miss it. So what we're going to do is clear them out first, then we'll shoot to the left. It's going to be easy peasy with the upgrades we've got, everybody, so just go behind. Charge heavy. Look at that. Staggered, ultimate shield, charge counter, boom, stack. You see what I'm saying? Like, yes, they are super intimidating. I don't think the dogs are so bad. The birds are the bigger problem. So the birds sometimes will make that loud pop and you'll think they're staggered and they're tricking you. And they're not. They're about to come down and swipe you. You'll have to learn the difference. We'll see if we can show that off. But they're not that bad. They'll fly up in the air and do like a slam down with their feet. They'll peck at you and do about what you'd expect. Yeah, blood boss got him. But yeah, you see, it's just, I guess once you fight them enough, it just gets easier. There was a time when they gave me a lot of trouble, sure. And on top of that, if you're fighting like 2 or 3 of them, like we will be here in a minute, it can be, you know, it can be some trouble. So, but yeah, the more you fight, the easier it gets. They're worth almost 2,000 runes apiece, though, so it's worth taking them out. Now, once you take those guys out, we're going to go over here. I love that. They'll do that sometimes when they headbutt themselves. Damn. The distance is just off there. Shit. Did not mean to do that. Alright, now once you got them clear, if you were to look down here, when we did the underground, I was telling you that it takes you to an area in Caelid you cannot reach otherwise. That's it right there. That is the Great Jars Challenge. The Great Jars Challenge is going to give you the Great Jars Arsenal Charm. It's going to, you know, extend how much weight you can carry by the utmost. It's the best talisman in the game for weight. So what you have to do is go to the underground and take that lift from Sword we didn't take. Then that will lead you down here. Now you could probably do like a trick drop, but it'd probably just be easier to take the damn lift. Fast travel there. You know, it'd take less time to do so. Now we've already got the scarab with the incantation earlier on. We got you guys a strength weapon very early on. You'll notice the chest is still shut, but it's empty. You already got the greatsword. So that's what we did in our early run around when we were getting everybody weapons. We went and grabbed that for our strength build, so you guys have that cool too. So take him out. Now you've made it to your ruins. Now, you know, once again, we already got this side of grace, so we'll go ahead and rest. If you don't have it, obviously grab it. Now, lore-wise, we talked about this before, that, you know, Caelid was consumed with rot, so all of Radahn soldiers are using fire, and there's a lot of fire in this zone. That's how they're trying to burn the rot away. So you will deal with a lot of fire. And if you were actually doing intelligence build with frostbite, you're going to run through enemies much easier. Now the best way to do this is just to make a loop around. And I would kill all these guys, because sometimes you'll see like a pile of corpses. They're not exactly dead. But once you kill them all, they're usually like an item in the middle of the pile. That's what I said, it's most likely going to be worth your time to just take them all out. And that's what they're going to do. They're going to run up and explode. Good thing is they'll kind of take each other out, but it's going to throw you back like 10 foot. You're doing a lot of damage. So let's try not to show it off, but, you know, if it happens, it happens. So I like to just make a circle. Sticking to the right and going to the left, because the left is where the boss is. Now you're also going to see those guys, the big cart guys. There's like 2 or 3 here. If you play your cards right, they won't be too difficult. Hurry up, thank you. Alright, let's get our crafting. Smoldering butterfly is one of the best crafting ingredients if you're using like fire grease and fire pods and stuff like that. You gotta have them. The good news is, if you're trying to get a bunch of them, they do respawn everywhere. So you can rest and really pile up if you want. Oh, that was close. That was close. Thank you. We'll get to him, but not yet. Let's see if we can hurry up before this guy gets to us. I told you guys you can get critical attacks on these guys. See if I can pull it off. Look at that. Okay, this shit's cool as fuck. So if you jump for their head, what's going to happen is you'll stab them at the top. And that huge explosion will actually allow you to take out multiple enemies if they're gathered around, right? So, pretty dope, pretty dope. Thank you. Did we grab... body hanging off the hood? Okay, we're clear. No, it's this one. Yep. You could probably stick on torrent too, guys, if you're not worried about grabbing every little thing. Stick on torrent, run through real quick, grab the items. I like to do it on foot. It makes it easier to take out the guys on the cart. If you run up on your horse, they're gonna know you're there. When in turn, we can kind of sneak up on them for the most part. Did you notice us? I can't tell. Oh yeah, he definitely did. He was being a little bit more subtle. Usually he's driving around all over the damn place. Alright, let's get him. Thank you. Alright, that's two. And there's the third one. As like I said, what we're really doing is just sticking to the right side first for your little loop. And that's the end of it right here. So now we'll go all the way down and swing back up your left-hand side, ending with your boss fight, which is another double boss fight. You gotta love it. Alright, now the last cart should be over there by your boss door. So this is another one of those underground stairwells that leads to your boss. Where is that fucker? Yeah, so there's your boss. You may be able to sneak behind him. That's what I'm going to aim for. The way you're lined up, you should be okay. What's really cool about this too is a lot of these bosses you might overlook, like these little areas, like, oh, I'm not doing every little ruin, or I'm not doing every little thing. You get some of the best items from this. Like, this gives you a great shield that shoots fire. I mean, it can melt through the game. Not much of a guide needed for this. You have two pumpkin heads. They're just basic enemies. Look how much damage you're going to be doing. So, you gotta stay on them. The same thing we did last fight, guys. Separate, separate, separate. You guys want to summon? Got some summon. Well, the amount of damage you're doing despite whatever weapon you have, everything's doing a lot of damage right now. There you go. So, like I said, not too difficult. If you guys want to summon a couple guys, that will help. Maybe tie one down. If they had more health, I would consider it to be more difficult, but, you know, we could run on in without giving a guide and put them down like that. It's just, you know, it's just not one of those. Right here is, I think, the second biggest shield in the game. Second beefiest shield. It's the best in shield. This thing's wild, dude. It's fucking wild. So you need 44 strength just to yield it. It's a great shield. And then the weapon art, it won't even do it. And that's, what if I two-hand it? Alright, should work now. So the weapon art, look at this shit, bro. You just, boss is too hard, right? Enemy's too hard. There you go. Just cheese the whole fucking game. Like, 'cause it's kind of one of them items. It's wild shit, dude. Wild shit. Where was our boy? Alright, so now we got that done. What I'll probably do, because of our resources, we'll jump back to our side of grace, get rested up, and then, you know, press on. Alright, so that was your number one marker. Now from here we can jump on torrent. Now, just outside of the ruins, you're going to see these rocks. There's probably going to be like dogs fighting each other. When you see that, there's items typically to get that, you know, they're fighting over things. This is not really worth your time, but, you know, it's stuff. So. Now, it also can be intimidating fighting a few of these guys. You gotta remember, they'll hit each other too. They're such a tight area. They're gonna be headbutting each other, knocking each other out. Look at that. Now, if they couldn't harm each other, that's a different story. But they kind of just take each other out. So that's just really about materials more than anything else for your crafting. Now, this one was not marked. We didn't put a marker here because it's right next to the ruins. I feel like we really needed it. Such a pain in the ass to get up to, man. Gotta do it with torrent. Ooh, took us too long. See, that's not him staggering. You see what I said? He's trying to trick you. He makes that pop sound. You think he's staggered. He's not. There it is. That was a close call. Alright, Sacramento Bud. Now we're going to heal and start working our way towards number 2. Because you pretty much got everything. Just, you know, a few quick crafting items. As I said, we didn't even put it on the map. Wasn't really worth it. Just right here. Now, the other rock power you're going to see, this is more rewarding, for sure. Because there's actually a Smith and 5, and those are still very, very rare at this point. I mean, hell, we've only got 5 of them. You know, that's it. You look at everything else, you got like 30, 40, 20. We've only got 5. So we need every single one if you're going to get your weapon to like 17. You can get a plus 16, plus 17 weapon after Caleb is done. For the first half of Caleb, but you need every smithing stone to pull it off. You can't miss a single one. That, you know, you're talking about tunnels, then you can boost out in the open world, and either at a castle. You gotta have every single one. Oh, there it is. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? I know you're right here somewhere. Alright, Golden Rune 9 is really good. It's worth almost 4,000. I'm just gonna take this straight across. Did a bird just die from fall damage? I don't know what killed him, but I do know that was pretty funny and very unexpected. Okay, yeah, we were on the way down, and then your 5 should be on this next one. Let's try to use torrent here a bit, guys. You might as well fight all these birds, because you're about to have to fight a few at the same time in the next ruin. So if it helps you get used to them, it's not going to hurt. Now, our next location's on the map. We put a marker there. And that's we just went through it, but you can't miss it. It's right next to your other ruins. All you're doing is going right, you know, to the side. As soon as I take these guys out, I'll pull it up on the map for you guys. But right now, there's just nothing I could do if we're in combat. You can't flip the map. Now that was a real stagger. You hear how the pop was a little bit louder? That's the difference. If you hear that pop, it could be them doing that grab attack on you. Yeah, you're about to kill us. Stop it. Thank you. Alright. So, either way. There's Caleb Ruins. It's literally like right here. And once again, usually you can see the structures. You can't see them here, but that's where it's at. It will, the location will pop up in your map as soon as you get a little bit closer. So this is the Forsaken Ruins, literally side by side. See, so I was off a little bit, but yeah, right there. Now, when you get here, this is going to cost you a stone sword key, and there's going to be a bird up here. I think we may have cleared the other ones. You usually got to fight 2 or 3 right here. So I think the other one came early, which we're good with. You know, don't bother me one bit. Get your Smith at 4. You probably don't even have to fight this guy if you're quick. So anyone wanting to mess with the sleep stuff, this is St. Trina's sword. So this is going to be, was it Dex? I know it's Ant. I just don't remember if it's strength or dex. Very, very unique weapon. I mean, extraordinarily unique weapon. Where are you at? I feel like I'm looking right at it. No, that's this. Oh, right here, dude. So you're looking at looks like strength or dex. We'll see how it is upgraded. It's only 3 pounds. It's just a straight sword. But you're going to have more physical scaling than intelligence, which is fine because it does build up sleep at 66 build up. That's more than your blood loss build up is on most weapons. So 66. The higher your intelligence, the more sleep you're going to get built up as well. Somber weapon, very good choice if you're wanting to do one of those sleep builds. Very obscure build, but does have some decent applications, to say the least. And if you're going to take this game all the way through Shadows of the Erdtree DLC, there's going to be other sleep stuff you can get too. That's the thing, man. The DLC just complements the game. It's not that weapons are better, although there are some that are crazy fucking powerful. That's the thing. It's not like spells, talismans, or weapons are better. It's just other things that complement your build. So, just the way to really do it is get the best stuff from the game, DLC, and combine super fucking powerful builds. There's just so much crazy shit. Because, like, there's not many death sorceries in the game, but when you combine the game death sorceries with the DLC, you come out pretty nice, right? With those more obscure builds. Either way, guys, from here, you'll see a graveyard, right? But we've already hit this graveyard. That was the same graveyard you hit on the way to Gael Tunnel, so we're not worried about it. So all we could do, all we're really going to do is just run straight down to your number 3 marker, right? Just straight on down. Now, there's the main road over there to the left, and we'll backtrack, but right over here is your side of grace, so that's what we want. And that's how you get to the Gael Tunnel, which we've already done. But if you head straight on down from the castle here, fort rather, you'll see your side of grace. That way, we have the side of grace close by, we can go ahead and get our rest on, be in a good spot. And we're actually going to do the fort next episode. I had to look through my notes. I thought we did it this episode, but we're just supposed to get up to it. Yeah, this is such a pain in the ass. Sorry, I didn't realize I had mute on. So there is an invisible scarab here, and he's faster than you. So if you're on his trail, usually you can't hit it. You have to try to cut him off. And then he's invisible too, so you're like barely missing him. You can use the dogs to your advantage. You start making a bunch of aggro and then follow you around. They may take this guy out for you. Like, right, it's the worst one to get. It's a fire ash war. It's okay. I don't think it's as good as Flaming Strike. It's called Flame with the Red Mane. Some people like it better. I don't know if it's better, but it's definitely good. But regardless, usually the dogs can help out a bit. Unfortunately, that's probably what the rest of our episode is going to be. It's very fucking tedious. Yep, so you're always like fucking just short of getting him. And then he does like a figure 8. So it's not like a perfect circle when you're following the guy. I just put him down. Maybe we could just stand and try to get a good spot to stand in for him. The dogs, it's very inconsistent. It doesn't always work. I've got it to work, but like I said, it's not like a super consistent thing. Where is he at? Yes, he's going the other way. He will come back around. Alright, there he goes. But if you're even barely off, see, I swear he actually jumps to the side more every time. And then he'll go around that way too. Like I said, it's like a figure 8. So he'll come out this left side. See, you're like, we were right there, but we were just short. That's what I said. It's fucking infuriating, dude. Come on, Cart Bro, help us out. I'm just gonna tell you guys to do. get it in your own time because it's so fucking tedious. We'll get it. It's just super fucking annoying. Dog's not getting them this time. The cart's not getting them for me. There he is. It's either us or the cart, but we got it. So yeah, it's just one of the worst ones to get, man. It's just one of the worst ones to get, unfortunately. Alright, so what we're going to do now that we got that, it's okay. Just since I guess we can put it on quickly, very briefly to show you guys. It's okay, but I don't like it as much as our other one. I'm going to tell you why. So using this, just a burst of fire. Now, I'll show you guys the difference, because this is definitely worth a mention. So, Flaming Strike. When I'm using the Flaming Strike, I'm sitting here. It looks very similar, right? So that's Flaming Strike's quicker, and then with Flaming Strike, I follow with R2, bam, and I get a weapon buff. So, I think Flaming Strike is far superior. I do this, you know, there's no weapon buff with it. There's no other combination, so I just don't think it holds up as well. That's kind of my gig, you know what I mean? But if you guys like it, use it, it's there. So we're going to have this side of Grace, Fort Gael North, right outside the fort we're going to do next episode. But since we went down that way, we never finished going down the road. So we're going to go and just take this road. There's like a chest we're going to pop, then we'll shoot over just to, you know, close off the area. So jump back to Gael Ruins. Actually done quite a big portion of Gael. Not a huge amount, but no, we've knocked quite a bit out here. Because Gael's huge, and we're only doing half of it right now, but still, they're just, you know, ruins. Oh, missed one. Smoldering. No, dragonfly. But yeah, ruins, cave, ruins, swamp. So it just kind of knock it off, you know, knock it out pretty quickly. Either way, there's your telescope we saw on the map. There's the road. So we have the side of Grace right here. Now, right when you get to about right here, the side of Grace, you're going to see the smoldering wall. Jump right over. So it's right next to your side of Grace, right? So at this point, you're going to follow the smoldering wall because right here's a little camp with a chest we're going to grab. There's slumbering egg. Very rare crafting item, but that's all it really is. Oh God. Guys. Okay. Yep. So I said my weapons at least are a little bit behind. Bloodhound's Fang, I do have the +6, so that's, you know, on par very much. But my basic weapons are definitely a little short. Dude, what is your stagger like? Holy shit. Dude has so much fucking poise. I'm bonking him with the biggest great mace in the world, and he's just like past assault. You know, like it's not a big deal. Alright, so slumbering egg. And then if you were to continue down this wall, there are other items, but we're going to get that after the fort, because then we'll kind of drop down that cliff and head to caves and catacombs and all that stuff. So that catches us up. So this episode, we've already cleared this. Then we have pretty much done this whole area besides the fort and a couple of little loose loot items here that we'll, you know, be doing next episode. We'll open with that. Then that will put us down here where we can just knock all that stuff out. They get back on the main road. In fact, next episode, we should have everything done besides the swamp, which we'll do that the following episode. Then we'll have like a catacomb right here, and then, you know, ready for the boss. So, like I said, there's quite a bit in Gael. It just kind of goes quickly. So no arguments there. There's a lot of really good stuff here, back to back too. I wanted to go ahead and grab our next incantation to get you guys a damage boost, but we'll get that at the start of next episode before we do anything else. It's another one of those that gives us 20% more damage. Gotta love it. So while we are sitting here at the end, I would like to go ahead and grab a level right just shy. That way we're always starting episode fresh. It's something I like to do. Yeah, I always try to grab a level at the end of the episode so we could just, like I said, start fresh the next episode. Alright, that's definitely enough with a little bit to spare. Help us work towards the next level. It Seems like they're starting to come a little bit quicker. So we're at level 82 in Caleb. That's pretty good. So we're at 40, 15, 20, 27, 15 dex requirements for our main weapon later on, then 25. So we're over 25, 25 on both damage stats this early in the game. That's crazy with 40 health too, you know. So we said the plan earlier on is to get 30 strength, 30 faith, then we're going to go ahead and bring this up to 50, that to 25, that to 25, then we're in damage for the rest of the game. But at least that 30, 30 in our damage stats, that's requirements for almost anything we want to use besides those later game spells. But either way, guys, with that, we are going to wrap on up. So you guys stay tuned. Please subscribe for more walkthrough, and we will catch y'all back here next episode to take out Fort Gael.